It's Martin Luther King's birthday. I applied for his job in 2011. I gave this information to Greg Bernstein in 2011. I gave this information to Mark Steiner in 2011. All right, WEAA radio. That's Mark Steiner. All right, and he got this. WEAA radio, Dr. K, you got this. This is about Scott Shellenberger, Congressman Cummings, Larry Young, and Governor O'Malley, Greg Bernstein. I'm going to play this tape in front of the grand jury. It's my intellectual property. Art and activism. It's also evidence. And Mr. Bazemore is a witness. Y'all gave Kevin Plank a lot of money to build their properties. Y'all divided Baltimore up into pieces like a plantation. So, Mark Steiner, when I tag you, make sure that you tell the truth. I'm the 2021 Weaver Award winner. And I've been knowing Westmore since 2014. 2014. That's Westmore. So on Wednesday when you sign in, make sure that you do your job. I'm the best of the best in Baltimore. Dwayne has been building communities in Baltimore for over 20 years and is passionate about bringing people together, getting them to think about things in new ways and taking care of them with good food. Dwayne will use this award to support the project The Good in the Hood, which brings people together at family-friendly events, connect, share food, ideas, and strengthen communities in Baltimore. These are the supporters of Shorty. I had to reinvent myself because y'all locked me up and charged me with terrorism. I'm an activist, I'm not a terrorist. That's your elected official. She's also a lawyer. And if you're a lawyer and you have evidence of corruption, you're supposed to report that. That's Delegate Stephanie Smith. That's the University of Baltimore Law. That's the University of Baltimore Law. That's the University of Baltimore Law. All right? That's the ACLU, Deborah Gion. That's Chuck Grassley. And that's Frank Conway. And we talking about the courts and the corruption in the courts. That's the Comptroller's Office, Peter Francott. And that's me. Y'all got this at City Hall. Y'all got this book. This book right here, you got. That's Mayor Brandon Scott. Shorty, pull your mask up? No, I'm going to unmask Baltimore. And these are the criminal charges against Scott Shellenberger. So we all on the same page. You got this book. And that's my intellectual property. All right? It's my intellectual property. See that? That's Xavier Conway, the clerk of the court. That's the Supreme Court, 2007. I told y'all I was making a documentary. You kidnapped me from my home. I gave you a Shorty program. Now, that's Audrey Carrion, Judge Carrion. And that's Ivan Bates. And right here it says, U.S. codes, misrepresentation of a felony. All right, whoever having knowledge of an actual commission of a felony, cognizable by a court of law, the United States conceals and does not as soon as possible make known to the same judge or other persons in civil or military authority in the United States shall be fined. All right. So you got knowledge. You had this for years. Me and you got a history. Judge Carrion had me throughout the courtroom because I gave her criminal charges against Scott Shellenberger and the Democratic Party. That's a mail for theft and vandalism from 2008 to the present date. Federal criminal investigation. All right, and that's Governor Larry Hogan. I own my property on Falls Road. That's me. That's my property. And I was insured for $1 million. That's Governor Larry Hogan. And that's Governor Blagojevich. If Blagojevich can go to jail, Governor Hogan can go to jail because he's a private citizen on January the 18th. On January the 18th, Governor Hogan's a private citizen. You can criminally charge him. He can go to jail just like Blagojevich. Governor Hogan been selling seats, and just like they were selling seats in Illinois, Governor Hogan was selling seats in Maryland. That's Exhibit 3. Special Agent Jason from the FBI. That's Eric Barron from the Department of Justice. Everything that Eric Barron got since he was a Delegate Barron, now he's with the Department of Justice. You got to turn that over. That's evidence. All right, that's evidence. That's Chief Justice Mary Barbera. And that's the case number about the war on drugs, 86 CF 293. That's Chief Judge Starks. All right, that's Judge Boris. All right. We got all this. So Judge Mary Barbera, Judge Carrion, Judge Cox, y'all can't use your positions of power to protect the corruption. See that? Subsection. Fiduciary fraud in the court. NAACP got that. The ARDC got that. That's Natasha Diggs, the public defender of the state of Maryland. That's Chief Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court. I'm a whistleblower. I was locked up in Illinois and Maryland and labeled a terrorist because I was exposing the corruption in the courts. I went to grand jury of the Supreme Court in 2022, 2024, 2023. The grand jury of the Supreme Court. And you're going to help me get there. I was making a movie about y'all. That's Anthony Brown, Attorney General. All right. And this is the papers. All right. I never got a trial and I never got my property back. NAACP, Eric Holder, ACLU, and President Obama got that. That's a theft by the state. You feel me? Theft by the state. That's State Attorney Marilyn Mosby. And these are the criminal charges. No. These is the complaint with the Illinois Attorney Legislative Disciplinary Committee. And I put a complaint against Waller, LaRue, and Karen Levy. My public defender worked with the state to try to incarcerate me. All right? And this is February 2008. February 2008. That's Marilyn Mosby. She had this. I never got a trial. 07 CF 4988. See that? December 2009. Y'all was ordered to return my property. You never returned my property. You stole my property in Illinois and in Maryland. I'm an honorably discharged veteran of the United States Navy. We talking about the war on drugs. Iran-Contra, Oliver North. I participated in that. That's Delegate Vanessa Attenberry, and that's Mary Washington. Like I said, I was kidnapped from my home, 1402 Lochner, and my mother had this information. Cockeysville, Maryland, paid December 1st, 2008. Corrine Davis. Now, Vanessa Attenberry got all this. Vanessa Attenberry got all this. That's Congressman Cummings and Donald Trump. And these mail receipts. And those are the criminal charges against Scott Shellenberger. All right? She got this. That's TV One, Radio One. That's Larry Young, Kathleen Hughes, Franksky, WHUR, Harold Fisher. Y'all got this. Make a documentary. And I'm looking for a federal investigation. 5/8/2008. All right? The prison industry and corruption. You feel me? On January, I put this toilet in front of the school board. The school board, it represents the school to prison pipeline. Fern Shin from the Baltimore Brew lied to y'all. This toilet represents the school to prison pipeline. President Bush was on it. Tim Williams was on it. Yeah, and all your elected officials was on it. If you get Fern Shin to give you a picture of that toilet, look at the people on the toilet. There's Tim Williams from WJZ. That's WJZ, and that's parole and probation. That's consent to be videotaped. I gave y'all permission to videotape me, and y'all got to play that whole hour-and-a-half video to the public and the voters. These is your elected officials. Legislative Black Caucus. All right? 2009, 1402 Lochner. And these are your elected officials that have been shielding this corruption. All right? Racism don't work without black cooperation. Racism don't work without black cooperation. That's Delegate Stephanie Smith, and she had this. She's not a champion for our community. She protects Jim Crow. Remember Michelle Alexander wrote the book, The New Face of Old Jim Crow? Well, I'm getting ready to fill in the pages. That's my parole and probation card. Guilty plea at Christmas time. No, I was innocent of that. I went home on vacation and then I came back on probation. See that? That's a seal. Internal Revenue. This is an audit for a federal state audit from the IRS. See that? Congressman Elijah Cummings. False imprisonment, police brutality, judiciary fraud, prisoner's right advocate. You got that? Notice of departure. That's my FBI number right there. That's my FBI number. That's an interstate compact because y'all was making money. Y'all was making money off of me in Illinois and in Maryland. Illegally. I'm a whistleblower and you locked up a whistleblower. These are the forged checks. And right there, I was locked up in another state. I couldn't sign that and that's not my signature. That's not my signature. Ivan Bates got this. All right, that's fraud. Fraud in the court and fraud in the state. That's 2007. That's 2006. That's the IRS. And that's 2008. All right. Received April 22nd, 2011. That's the Baltimore County Bureau of Corrections inmate complaint form. I want a postal inspector. That's Mr. Fields, the lawyer in Baltimore County. And I blew the whistle on Gov.O'Malley, Congressman Cummings, Hardin, Mikulski, Richard McFeely from the FBI, Judge Bell, Judge Pearson, Judge Turnbull, Judge Boris. Governor Quinn got this. Eric Holder, the Department of Justice, got this. Gail King from CBS and Bank of America. Dear Judge Souter, y'all got this. That's attorney-client privilege. All right? That's my lawyer, Thomas Saunders, and he tried to get me to plead guilty. That's Judge Pearson, public hearing request. And this is my Jailhouse Diary, the first page. I got it documented, and y'all got this. All right, y'all got this. My property was ordered to be returned, and y'all never returned my property. Judge Souter. All right. That's Scott Shellenberger, Department of Justice ID number, because I blew the whistle on Scott Shellenberger in 2014, and that's my DOJ number. All right. That's David Giles. That's James Calabrese from the State Prosecutor's Office. Y'all use your positions of power to protect the corruption. That's Chief Johnson, Chief Investigator, Internal Revenue Service, right there. Paul Ballard, the Attorney General's Office. Dwight Pettit, Warren Brown, Jay Wendell Gordon, Billy Murphy. Yeah, all of y'all been eating off black bodies. Received 2014, Attorney General's Office. Baltimore Sun. And this is the School of Law, the University of Maryland School of Law. Judge Papaya, Judge Turnbull, Judge Souter, Justin Burke, Christian Schaefer, Roosevelt Lefkowitz, Mike Marion, Richard Scher, David. All right. That's the Baltimore Sun chief editor. That's Kai Jackson, Fox 45. Karen Park, Stephen Janis. Mike Shue, Gigi Barnett, Ston Saunders, and Adam May. And y'all received this in the States Attorney's Office, had this. That's a certificate of identity. And that's the Department of Justice. I filed my paperwork. Shorty, pull your mask up? No, we on mask in Baltimore. And that's Ivan Bates. That's parole and probation. That's Governor Hogan. That's the Department of Justice. That's Mary Stephanie Rawlins Blake. That's the IRS. I need an audit. I'm out $250 million for making a movie about Baltimore. And my paperwork is in order. And Ivan Bates got a job to do. Westmore got a job to do. President Obama asked for an investigation. Tom Perez didn't do it. Office of the General Counsel, 2007. We talk about the United States Department of Federal Prisons. Y'all want to lock up people and give them federal time now. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Y'all conspired to create a criminal enterprise. That's the RICO Act. You got evidence and knowledge and you got to act on that.